All right, we're back at the Big and Tall Movie Review Show. I think we're going to touch on Spring Breakers. This movie just hit theaters, right?
Yeah, I think just like last week it came out. It's fairly fresh.
Yeah, fairly fresh. All right, we're going to play a little clip for this. Spring Breakers starring James Franco.
Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez is in it.
Vanessa Hudgens.
Other
people you might know.
Bunch of good-looking young ladies in bikinis. Here we go. We're going to do this one. This one is Spring Breakers.
All I know is I'm not going to sit here another day.
Spring break.
How are we going to get enough money?
I don't know. We're the only ones still here. Spring break.
I'm tired of seeing the same thing.
Spring break.
It's our chance to see something different.
Spring break. Just get that cash. Pretend like it's a video game. We can do this. Spring break.
My pants sagging low, like the young.
Magic place, y'all. You can change who you are, y'all. Bikinis and big booties, y'all. That's what life is about.
Who are you?
My name's Aileen.
Why are you here?
I saw y'all in there. You like nice people. Come on, y'all. Why acting suspicious? I knew y'all was special from the moment I saw you. It's written on your faces.
Because I just have a really, really bad feeling about this.
Oh yes, big booties and bikinis is what that movie was.
So what do you think of James Franco? He's got the gold teeth in. He's got the whole charisma going here.
Oh, James Franco was having a lot of fun in this movie, you could tell, but his acting was not as good as it has been in the past in other movies. He was just he was playing a rapper / gangster gun runner kind of guy who picks the girls up, who bails them out of jail basically, and then recruits them into his crime ring to be his street soldiers.
I see.
Yeah.
But the whole movie is more or less a gigantic montage. I mean, there was hardly any scenes that just kind of played through clean.
That'd be kind of annoying.
It was
a lot of
after
music
while.
and a lot of just.
Yeah, and they repeated dialogue. Like they would have dialogue from one scene, and then they would just like loop it through other scenes for dramatic effect. And it worked at times, and other times it was irritating.
So you'd say it was kind of an edited cluster mess a little bit?
Oh, yeah. There was stuff flying all over the place.
I mean, in Franco, I feel like he's really showing his range. One movie he's Oz, and this movie he's
not. About as far from Oz as you could get.
In fact, I was looking at the poster. I'm like, is that really? Yeah, it is him. The little cornrows and the.
Yeah, he's got the fake tan and cornrows going on.
And the whole deal.
Solid silver teeth.
Yeah. But it was kind of a blur, and overall, I mean,
it was kind of a sensory overload, is how I would.
Well, that's kind of what Spring Break's supposed to be like.
Yeah, true. It wasn't a terrible movie. The plot kind of
sensory overload.
The plot was fairly simple. Basically, the girls hold up a diner to fund their spring break vacation, and Selena Gomez is the one of the group that is kind of the good old Christian girl who doesn't quite hang with the dangerous stuff as well as the other girls. But
and if I read some of the reviews right too, she wasn't like in on the robbery, right? So she didn't really know.
No, she was definitely the voice of reason of the group. She didn't find out about that stuff until a little bit farther into the movie.
It's quite a departure for her, isn't it? Though this is.
Yeah, it seemed like her and
Vanessa Hudgens. Break out that Disney mold.
Yeah.
Yes, more away. Selena Gomez, because like we have mentioned, Vanessa Hudgens has had a little bit more risque a past.
Yeah.
But the movie wasn't terrible. I would give it about 3.5 cans. I'd say
3.5 cans, probably maybe 1 can for sensory overload.
Sounds like there was lots of cans in this movie.
Yes, there was. There was There was lots of nudity, and I mean, it was entertaining to say the least. But there was a couple of those factors that kind of drew back from me.
Just got a little too arty with
But
it.
what?
and
You,
just-
So you wasn't sold on the Franco performance. Just kind of he was there, kind of did it. Or?
He was there, and like I said, it just seemed like he was getting a little bit too loose. His dialogue came off a bit campy.
need
at
to be
times.
reined in a little bit.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah, that's his director should have done.
Was
this.
just throwing it a little bit far.
Yeah.
Should have reeled it in just a touch more. It would have come off a little better, I think. I mean, I like James Franco. I've seen him act well in the past. Though
He's a little hit or miss with me, but
he is a little hit or miss. There's some things
he's hit or miss just solidly.
I think a lot of people are kind of like that with him,
yeah.
But I mean, I would recommend it to people to check it out. It's not. It was directed by. I can never get this guy's name right.
Harmony Corinne, is that how you say it?
I believe that's right.
That's what we're going with.
And his movies in the past that I've seen are pretty gnarly, and this one has been easier to take in than.
This is probably his most mainstream piece of work, I would think.
Yeah,
most
that's
of his
for
films.
sure.
What are they? Violent or
Kind of eclectic.
Violent and just have really subject matter that's
hard to
hard to accept.
Yeah. Well, this one does seem a little different. You don't hear, it's a different.
And there's lots of eye candy in the movie.
Yeah.
Can't stress that
Yeah.
enough.
Well, a little different premise, than the normal reboots that we seem to be getting all the time with Hollywood. So
that's
something
true.
original.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are few and far between nowadays. So.
Yeah. All right, so you're gonna go with what, 3.5 on that?
3.5 cans for Spring Breakers.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys want to discuss any of the films? I know there's been a lot of stuff we've seen.
Well, I happened to make it to the theaters this past weekend to see Olympus Has Fallen, which at first the trailers didn't really sell me on it a whole lot. For those of you, if you don't know, it's the one where terrorists take over the White House, capture the president, kind of Die Hard in a White House. But then online read several reviews for it, and some critics that I kind of identify with, we seem to like the same stuff, really enjoyed it, so I decided to check it out and was very pleasantly surprised. The movie was very well done. Mm-hmm. The raid on the White House is like pretty much done in real time, and boy, it's violent. A lot of collateral damage. The tourists really take it in this. Lots of dead bodies lying around, but it's a solid, entertaining, fun movie. It's not going to blow your mind. It's not realistic, but check your brain at the door, and it was fun. I like the fact that Morgan Freeman doesn't play his typical. He's the Speaker of the House who ends up having to be the president, and he doesn't. It's nice to see him not playing the Morgan Freeman type role. I mean, he's very in over his head, kind of wishy-washy on decisions, and kind of has to find, which I really like that aspect. I was expecting, Morgan to stroll in, and this is what we're going to do, and
listen to my voice.
Yeah, exactly. So it was nice to see him kind of play a guy who was unsure about what to do, but the biggest thing for me was Gerard Butler in this, who I've never been a big fan of. Thought 300 was okay, and then he's did a lot of romance movies with Heigl and Jennifer Aniston, and he was so good in this. Do more action movies. Yeah, he's got a physical presence to him. He was, they had some good one-liners for him, and this is the type of movie he needs to be doing.
And this director also did Training Day.
Training Day, Brooklyn's Finest, which is very underrated movie.
Antoine Fuqua.
Yeah, Antoine Fuqua. Yeah.
So,
Aaron Eckhart. Yeah, he's always solid. He plays the president.
He seems like he's usually pretty good.
It's just the kind of the little things in this.
I mean, he plays a good political.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he seems to always get cast as.
Yeah.
Now, this is not the first time that Morgan Freeman has played the president, is
No.
it? He was, what was
Deep
it?
Impact,
Deep
the
Impact, thank
asteroid
you.
movie.
Yeah.
So, and this also has Angela Bassett's in it, Robert Forster. They surround a lot of the supporting characters with good actors that and so, I mean, it's like I said, it's not anything, that you're going to just blow your mind, but it's just a solid fun action movie, kind of a throwback.
Yeah, that's kind of what.
And they have a great something that A Good Day to Die Hard didn't have. This has a great villain in it. This is a guy that you're wanting to see him get his in the end. And you remember, like, I couldn't tell you who the bad guys were in the last Die Hard movie. They were so forgettable. But they just, they did everything. They did all the little things right, and it added up to a pretty enjoyable movie.
Well, a good villain can really make the movie.
And unlike G.I. Joe, when people die, there was actually blood. People. Yeah. So the movie is pretty violent. I like the, again,
it's rated R too. I mean, they got to keep G.I. Joe PG.
But again, kind of the little things, like throughout the White House when they're kind of advancing through, there's, they're basically stepping over dead bodies because of everybody that's been killed. Which it's one of the little things I noticed that made it a little more. Not just, we're just walking around.
This would be like the Die Hard Under Siege kind of genre.
Yeah, this is definitely Die Hard, and it's obvious there's a few scenes that I think are direct little nods to the original Die Hard.
Really?
There's one scene that is almost straight up one that is out of Die Hard, and once you see it, you will know which one it is.
A lot of critics kind of are pointing like that too, kind of a.
But like I said, I would probably go 3.5 cans on it, but it's just. It's a fun movie, and there's nothing wrong with every once in a while just turning the brain off and just sitting back and relax. And of course it helped that I saw this 2 days after G.I. Joe, so maybe that made up for the.
Realize what a turd Joe was.
Yeah. So like I said, if you're wanting some, I also kind of comparable to Air Force One,
yeah,
type
that kind
of movie.
Seems like in that genre.
But yeah, kind of similar and. The way that movie was, but I think this one was a little bit better than that, and
okay.
All. So
right.
I mean, if you're looking for something, then
Olympus has fallen. That's kind of all right.
So what was your? Did you give your can rating?
Yeah, I think at 3.5. It's not great, but I mean it's fun enough and good action. The story moves. It's never dull. That's when it's always moving forward.
Yeah.
So
all right.
Oh, cool. Solid rental, maybe?
Oh, yeah, definitely. If you're, definitely worth a rental.
I'm sure that's probably where I will be seeing it. Okay. All right. So we got Olympus Has Fallen. We've touched on G.I. Joe. We've touched on Spring Breakers.
Even the Croods.
Yeah. Well, I haven't really given a full review on the Croods, but it,
Could be the best movie of the week.
I think I like Nick Cage better animated. I get tired of looking at him. Okay. Real quick,
Nick Cage has got to eat.
Nick Cage has one to eat. I want to touch on this film, and I know Max has got a lot of stuff he wants to touch on, but I was really interested in this when it came out. We got a minute here, but this Warm Bodies film, as far as and this came out in 2013, and I think it just left theaters and will be on DVD soon. But does this look like a zombie love story film? I mean,
yes, that's actually exactly what it is.
And that seems pretty. Different as far as anything I've.
Yeah, well, they've been doing so much zombie stuff lately in the movies and on TV that it was interesting to see that they actually found an original way to spin it, kind of.
Yeah.
But when I went to see it, I wasn't really expecting it to be very good, and I was really pleasantly surprised. I was laughing out loud through most of it.
That's cool.
Which I wasn't expecting.
I've heard a lot of good things about this one. This is one I haven't made it to see yet. But
yeah,
even Leonard Maltin really liked this movie a lot.
There
which
you
was
go.
Surprising.
Leonard Maltin's digging at the Malter.
It's got some John Malkovich in it, and
it's got Rob Corddry in it.
Yes.
It?
Yeah, Rob Corddry plays a very intelligent zombie, but John Malkovich kind of plays the leader of the remaining human race.
Yeah.
And this also stars, Nicholas Hoult, who I always remember from About a Boy. He was the boy in that.
Oh, he was the boy in that, wasn't he?
So
I never realized
nice
that.
to see him growing up and still working, not a train wreck like some of the other.
Yeah,
he was also
he's in the X-Men too.
Yeah,
he's
the First
Beast.
Class. Yeah, that's right. And Jack from Jack and the Giant Slayer.
Yes.
Currently in theaters. But the movie is basically about him falling in love with this the very beautiful Teresa Palmer.
Yeah, she is pretty nice.
After he eats the brains of her boyfriend. Which that was another reason I really liked the movie, because it was a kind of a rom-com, but at the same time, when it came to the gore, they really didn't skimp at all. It was kind of reverted right back to horror movie roots when they needed to.
Even for PG-13, though, it was pretty.
Oh yeah, you'd be surprised what they can get away with in those PG-13.
They drop out all the swearing and just add the blood. They'd get away with it. Well, real quickly, we've got what would you give that on your can rating, Max? To see?
I really liked it. I would give it. I'll give it a solid 4 cans.
4 cans for Warm Bodies. All right, Nicholas Hoult, Teresa Palmer, Rob Corddry, John Malkovich. Okay, we're gonna come up on a break. We'll be right back. Big and Tall Movie Review Show.